Yeah, how about the Mile High All-Stars right there? Yeah, unbelievable. Well, good morning, everybody. Thanks for coming out in the rain. Beautiful day, isn't it? Man, we loving this. All right, so go Nuggets. Everybody feeling good about the Nuggets? Yeah. Yeah. And the Rockies riding a 2-game winning streak into Sunday morning. The parade will be going by in just a few minutes. And I got a baseball fact for you. It was in 1974 at Cleveland Municipal Stadium where they had the idea to have 10-cent beer night, and you could buy up to 6 beers at a time. Seemed like a good idea until the 9th inning when the Indians came from behind and tied the game, and there was so many people on the field fighting that they had to forfeit the game. So I think that proves that not all ideas are good ideas, all right? So here's some stuff that's coming up. It's summer, we're moving into summer, so we got summer school happening, and we got some fun workshops that'll be coming up, and great opportunity to connect with some other folks and do some study together. Dr. Roger is starting a workshop tomorrow called Spiral of Awakening, which is based on the theory in the book Spiral Dynamics. That's going on. Then on Tuesday, Reverend Jackie has one about radical forgiveness. It's going to be online. Then Dr. Patty has one on Thursday that starts, it's about the second half of life. And I know for me, being in my extremely late 40s, that the second half of life is coming on any day now. And then in a couple of weeks, Reverend Simon will have one on the shadow, embracing the shadow. So great opportunity to take classes during the summer and just have some fun and meet some folks. So that's what's going on. And we are excited this morning because we have one of our favorite guests to come in here and do some music. So please put your hands together and welcome Denise Rosier.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, online. Let's raise the roof with shouts of praise. Gathered
Denise Rosier, thank you so much. Thank you, Mile High Band. Good morning, everyone. How's everyone doing today? A little wet, but in a nice, warm, and cozy place, and honoring all of those who are watching in their Snuggies at home. Do they still have Snuggies? It's graduation Sunday here at Mile High Church, where we honor all of our high school graduates, but it's a wonderful opportunity as well to ask ourselves what we're graduating from and into. And one of my pet names for Mile High Church is Soul University. And it's time for a lot of us to graduate from the school of hard knocks, realizing we've learned all we need from suffering and trial and tribulation, and it's time to study a lot more joy. What it means to live in happiness, what it means to be whole people living whole lives. And that's what I love about this spiritual community, is we are extraordinary people living extraordinary lives, and surrounding you right now in this sanctuary, physically and virtually, are incredible people who've overcome incredible obstacles to live in joy. So I honor each and every one of you. We have a wonderful service today. Again, it's graduation Sunday. We've got a prayer coming up from Dr. Michelle. Dr. Barry's here to sing Surely the Presence. Got great music. And as we move into that time of song and silence and prayer, I want to acknowledge a Mile High congregant who made her transition recently. Her name is Carol Wolf. So bright light, member of our choir, our safety team, just such a transparent, authentic presence. And so as we move into prayer, I just invite us to hold her and all those who love her in our hearts today, as we wish her spirit well in its next incarnation, and honor all of the love and joy that she leaves as the legacy of her life.
Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can hear the brush of angel wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place. Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can hear the brush of angel wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place.
We begin our prayer by giving thanks for beloved Carol Wolf. And as Reverend Josh said, sending love to all who loved Carol and shared their lives with her Indeed, so many people like her are the thread that weaves itself together to create this beautiful community. But together we come into this place and we feel this connection and aliveness, this joyousness that rings through our being at every level. We know and believe here in this place that this energy is the energy we call God, Spirit, the infinite intelligence, the creator of all. And we recognize and honor that the more powerfully we consciously anchor our lives in that, the more we become a weaver of love and light in every place we go and everything we do and every relationship we share. And so this morning as we pray together, what I accept and affirm as that with every breath, we are more and more anchored in that life that is at the core of our beingness. And as we move forward to be fully present in our life, to all of the joys that call us forth, to the callings and the opportunities, as well as the challenges and the things that we don't know how to solve or resolve, the more we are anchored in that life that is the true nature of our being, the more clearly the steps on our journey become in every realm of our life. And so I accept and affirm, declaring today that our hearts, our minds, our bodies, our very beingness is open and available for the totality of the presence of God, the presence of the infinite, to express itself fully and completely through us, and that each one of us is a weaver of life, weaving our energies together to form the tapestry of our living, and to walk forward more joyously, more confidently, more securely, and more grounded in the love that is the truth of us. This is who we are. This is what we do, and this is what unfolds through us, as us, in us, this day and every day. And I'm so grateful that it's true, and that it's so. And in this gratitude, I simply let go and let God, knowing that as it has been spoken, it is done, and so it is. Amen.
Blessings abound in this moment, silent and open, listening. Spirit, I feel a blessed unfoldment, breathing new life in me. In this moment, truth and clarity find their way to me. In this moment, I'm where I should be, safe in the arms of love. Blessings abound in this moment, silent and open, listening. Spirit, I feel a blessed unfoldment, breathing new life in me. In this moment, truth and clarity find their way to me. In this moment, I'm where I should be, safe in the arms of love. I'll trust myself, I'll seize this day. I know my heart will lead the
this moment, in this moment.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Stacy Butters, and as the youth director here at Mile High, it is my great privilege to get to tell you about our 2023 high school graduates and our scholarship recipients today. So one thing I am really excited about is that in the past, our scholarships have been awarded based on continuing on to a college education, and we have really changed that up this year so that a scholarship is awarded to empower a teen to really go on, whether that's higher education and some kind of entrepreneurial opportunity or a key experience that will help them really live their dreams. So I'm excited about that change. We are awarding two different kinds of, yeah, that's totally worth some applause. We have two different kinds of scholarships that we're awarding today. The first is the H. Fred Vogt Scholarship, which is named for Mile High Church's Minister Emeritus in Memoriam. And that is for high school graduates who were really instrumental in sharing of their time, their contribution, their leadership, and participation in our youth programming. And those scholarship recipients are Oscar Wind, Abby Adler, and Ty Congdon. Our second scholarship is the Sacred Sisters Scholarship. So Sacred Sisters is the Mile High Church Women's Empowerment Group, and they give two scholarships each year to female graduates who have really been open and willing to continue to learn and lean into spiritual principle. And those two scholarship recipients are Aubrey Nicholas and Macy Yates. So what I will tell you is that this year, our graduates are already out doing good in the world, which has made it a little challenging for them to be with us here today. But I am very grateful that some of them were able to share some videos with us.
My name is Macy Yates, and my biggest takeaway from Mile High and their youth and family ministry, and kind of something that it taught me, was to always pursue the things you love. Growing up in choir, I spent a lot of time there for rehearsals and performance, and while it could be a big task at times, it definitely taught me dedication and perseverance, and it always paid off just getting to form new relationships with people and sing and do the things that I love most. And if I had 3 words to describe the things that I learned or experienced, I would say dedication, sincerity, and authentic performance were 3 of them.
The one thing that I've taken away from the Mile High Youth Program is that I'm always supported by God, and I also live my life with love, faith, and kindness.
Hi, my name's Aubrey Nicholas, and I have been a part of the youth program at Mile High ever since I was 1 or 2 years old. For the past 18 years, I have been a part of the program. And from Mile High, my biggest takeaway is that whatever you put out into the universe, you will receive. So whether that be positive thoughts, negative thoughts, they really kept us learning that every time I went, and I really am grateful for that. The 3 words that best describe what I learned are respect, unity, and love. Somehow we are all connected, no matter our background, what we believe in. They really just made us understand that we are all connected with love and respect. And I just want to thank you all for the wonderful experiences I've had growing up. And thank you. Thank you for this opportunity.
All right, everyone, thanks so much for helping me congratulate all of our graduates and our scholarship recipients, and I appreciate you taking a moment to just send some warm thoughts to them as they continue on their journey. Thanks.
When a step seems too hard to take Every turn feels like a big mistake, makes you wanna close your eyes and hide. Trust yourself, even if you're scared. Don't give up, don't give in to fear. All the strength you seek, you'll find inside.
Thank you, Denise, for dedicating that song to our graduates. Thank you, Mile High Band, Bijou, Mike, Rob, Kent. We love you. And love to each of you this morning. Thank you to Stacy Butters and every youth volunteer and staff member that was a part of the Seoul University for these kids whose graduation we honor. Let's hear it for them. One special announcement before I move into the message today. For me, Mile High Church isn't just a spiritual community, but we seek to be a spiritual institution that is on the leading edge of spirituality in the world. It's a lofty goal, but part of that is something we call our Renowned Speaker Program, and I'm very honored to get to announce today that on Friday night, November 3rd, we are bringing Dan Harris to Mile High Church. Dan Harris, a former ABC News anchor, has one of the most popular podcasts on meditation and mindfulness in the country called 10% Happier. And he's this pragmatic, funny, vibrant spirit. And there was just even an article naming his book, 10% Happier, as one of the top 8 books for mindfulness and meditation in the New York Times this past week. So we're very excited to have him here. It's not till November, but all of June, we have an early bird rate. You can go to our event center in the lobby or go online and get that. This is a great event, not just to go to yourself, but to bring a friend to, and so we can all be 10% happier together. So we're looking forward to that. There once was a rural American family who in their home had at the center of it an inherited piano. And everyone in the family grew to despise this piano. Mother felt that the kids needed to be playing it, so they each had to practice an hour a day, which led to oh no's and grief and whining, and this annoyed mom, and this annoyed dad as well. And one day, one of the children could smell something burning. It was coming from outside. Mommy, mommy, come on out. And the 2 other kids chased mommy outside, and there they saw on fire the piano. And mom looks back, and dad's there with a slight smirk of satisfaction on his face. And he says, if I want to teach my parents one thing, it's that if it ain't fun, don't do it. And so my message for us today, graduates from high school, but all of us that are graduating from one phase of life to another, is not only if it ain't fun, don't do it. Maybe if it leads to fun, that's okay. But it has to do with this topic today of legacy. That our legacy isn't so much what we accomplish in our lives, it's how we show up every day. That's how our loved ones will remember us most. And for me, more so than a narrative that people paint about us after we're gone, legacy is a virtue. It's a virtue that allows us to move beyond our own self-interest to pay attention to the impact that we have on others and humanity. I hope my legacy to my children is that we do conflict well, so that they do conflict in a healthy way when they're adults. I hope my legacy when I leave Mile High Church is that this is an even more warm, welcoming place where people feel seen in their spirituality and honored in their humanity. I hope the legacy of my ministry is that I've in some way helped people find God as much in their struggles and in their humanness as in any area of their life. Legacy for many of us, it's not just about what we do. Sometimes it's about what stops with us, about what we don't do, not having a negative impact on others. Ernest Holmes talks about there being one mind, and this is wonderful in the sense that we can all feel connected with one divine presence and infinite intelligence. But the shadow of this, Holmes teaches us as well, is that we inherit the whole thinking of the collective human consciousness. Isn't that a terrifying thought? But for a lot of us, our work in this life is healing that generational trauma that has been passed on to us. It's being able to note from our human ancestors discrimination or judgments or ideas of they out there that we need to push down to lift ourselves up. It's about stopping that and being better stewards of our earth. It's about building bridges with people who think and believe differently than we do. It's about committing to living our lives in joy so that our children can see just how to do that. The great Bono of U2 has a lyric in one of his songs, I can't change the world, but I can change the world inside me. I can't change the world, but I can change the world inside me. I love that because it speaks to this idea that we all live on the same earth. And yet part of our incredible uniqueness is we all create this world inside of us that is made up not only of our thoughts and beliefs, but our hopes, our desires, the world as we believe it should be. And what is life but our ability to try and make that inner world reflective of what's on the outside as well? One humorous but deep example of this is a conversation that the founder of Apple, Steve Jobs, had nearing the end of his life with his biographer, Walter Isaacson. And Jobs was dying of cancer at the time, and they're in his backyard, and Isaacson asks him if he believes in God. He says, I've always felt that it's a 50-50 venture. But facing this illness, I'd like to say that my faith has increased. I'd really like to believe that all of the wisdom I've been able to attain in this life lives on in some unique and glorious way. But then I stop and I think maybe I'm being naive and that life is just an on and off switch. And one day it just switches off. And you know what? That's exactly why I never created on and off switches on any of my devices. So you can see how just that little bit of legacy that exists in most of our pockets can express itself. Legacy isn't as much about what you accomplish. It's how you live your life each and every day. It's about how you commit yourself to your values, embody and reflect them to others. One of my great spiritual heroes is the great Joseph Campbell, who in his younger years didn't quite know what he wanted to do with his life. He had been a track star in high school. He played the saxophone, and he had some money saved up in 1929 when the Great Depression started. And what he decided to do is, although the world seemed to be crumbling down around him, it was time for him to commit himself to what he loved most, which was to read. And so he exited the world, kind of hermit-like, and got a cabin in the woods of Woodstock, New York. It says 1929, so this was 40 years before Dr. Barry would show up asking where the party was at the Woodstock concert. He was there. And he said, I just read and read. And it was such a glorious time for Campbell. He would even write publishing companies saying, I don't have the money for this book, but if you send it to me, I promise to pay you back. And they would often send the book. And Campbell would develop his most famous phrase, follow your bliss. Follow your bliss. What does it mean to give your life to your bliss and then to follow it? Campbell's theory being that when you know what your bliss is and you commit your life fully to it, that's when the real adventure of life begins. And the universe and all of its magic begins to come and support you in fulfilling the adventure of following your own bliss. I don't know this for a fact, but reading quite a bit of Campbell, I believe this idea of follow your bliss developed from his study of Hinduism and what's known as the 5 Shis. It's this idea that we don't just have one body, but many bodies. Each of us has what we might call a food body, the part of ourselves that's just for the worms. Then there's the breath body. The body of I am, of existence, of being right here and right now. Then there's the body of the senses. This is the body that gets us really attached to this form. The smells, the sights, the sounds, and so on. Then there is an intellectual or wisdom body. That's that part of us that contains all of our thoughts and feelings, but it's also that part of us that connects us with this one mind, with this infinite intelligence, a part of us that does go on and on. And then lastly, Campbell calls it the bliss body. This is that part of ourselves that knows it's one with God all of the time, that knows how loved you are, that knows that you are a dynamic expression of something infinite, that knows that life is about gratitude and grace all of the time. And yet how sad it is that so many live their whole lives unconscious or only with glimpses of this bliss body. To truly create our legacy and to live our best life, we have to remember that we're not just worm food, that there is a deep and profound part of ourselves that is here to live in the highest joy in spite of the sorrows of the world, Campbell would teach us. I love how Maya Angelou put it. She said, joy is an important element of happiness. It is sometimes the difference between striving and thriving. One must nurture the joy in one's life so that it reaches full bloom. And I'm not sure if there's any greater legacy that we can leave than to live our lives in joy, in spite of challenges, to recognize and exercise that bliss body, to rock your God bod in so many different areas of our lives. And it's this that our children and loved ones will remember. It's this that will inspire them to live in greater love and greater joy. I feel I'm really struggling with the sermon this morning, so I need a little help from the bullpen. Can we call? I need a reliever to maybe throw a couple innings out there. Dr. Barry, you out there? All right, we're calling a little help. And there's several reasons why I've asked Barry to join me out on stage today. But the initial reason is we picked these talk titles 6 weeks ahead of time, and I picked mine on legacy. And just a few days later, Barry, you were facilitating a staff meeting, and it was about legacy. And I so enjoyed that process. And I'm wondering if you're willing to tell us a little bit about how you came up with it and what it means to you.
Well, I've been working with a book called The Art of Coexistence, and we did a festival here yesterday over in the community center. And in this book, the author Ilchi Lee talked about legacy and about the idea of how would you want to be remembered? How would you want people to speak of you when your time on this planet is done? And just thinking about that, and we did this in a staff meeting that I was in charge of, and everybody was sitting at tables and just, write down on a card what someone might say. He was this way, or she was this way, and it was a great process, and everybody got into it, and we spent some time, and so that's kind of what brought me here today, I think.
You know what Ram Dass called dying?
What?
Trading in the Ford. There we go. And it was powerful for me because we all got to sit in these groups at tables and write down on a postcard how we want to be remembered. And then we got to share them with one another. And at my table was Tom Litch and Nathan Marshall, Salwa from our youth department, Sarah from our marketing department. And it brought some tears to my eyes because I realized something important about legacy in that moment, that it's really about how much of who we are we have the courage to bring forth in our lives. Because what I was hearing wasn't a statement about what they want to do. It was really who they were. And we were all a little nervous, I think, about revealing ourselves in that way. And that was at the heart of my experience of doing the exercise.
Yeah. Well, that was my job, to make everybody a little bit nervous. And so Josh has returned the favor and brought me out here this morning to announce that I'm retiring at the end of this month. So you can make me a little bit nervous. I'm not going anywhere specifically, but I'm just going to change my duties a little bit and do that. So that's why I'm here on Legacy Day, to talk about that a little bit, I guess.
Well, talk about legacy and Mile High Church. I think Dr. Barry's right there on the top of the list when you look at our incredible, go ahead, let's hear it for him now.
It's enough of that.
You just think about all the kids that got a great place to grow up because of Barry Eber, and you think of the legacy of all the kids who are going to still have a place to grow up. You think about the music ministry and how all of our hearts have been inspired by your commitment to your gift and your bliss. And you think about all the teaching, all the Friday morning churches, all of those expressions. And what I'm grateful for, because Barry, it hasn't been a secret because he's been wanting to retire since 2019, I think. And we keep holding him in. He's been there to support us through COVID and the ministerial transition. So I'm so grateful for that and for your mentorship over time. But I'm so grateful that he's accepted a title of Minister Emeritus here at Mile High Church. on July 23rd, he's speaking, and so that will be a celebrate, lovingly embarrass Barry a little bit day. So mark that on your calendars, and it's going to be a great day here at the church, and is going to continue to be a leader in our Sacred Earth ministry, continue to teach, and so there'll be a self-imposed exile, I'm sure, for a little bit here, but then you get to get engaged, and what a wonderful example you've been on how to shift and change for all of us while still operating at a really thriving, huge level of impact here and all that you do.
Cool. Well, the thing that's been great for me is I'm a team guy. That's why I love the Nuggets, as we all do. Yeah. So I just love being part of a team, and here I got to be a part of a ministerial team, which is great, and a great music team, which has been very supportive of me, and also a youth team, and also other things that I've been able to do too. One story I wanted to share, it was probably maybe about 20 years ago. I was having I'd had some problems with my eyes, and I was driving along one day, and I just saw on my left eye was kind of this cloud had come down. So I called my eye doctor. He got me right in, and then he said, "Why don't you go out in the hall and wait for a little bit?" And then he comes and gives me this phone number, and he said, "You got to call this doctor and go see him right now." So I did and went over there, and Stephanie met me over there, and the guy said, "You've got a detached retina, and got to fix this right away." And I said, "Well, I got some friends coming in to run Boulder with me tomorrow, so as soon as we get done with that, I'll come back and we'll do it." And he said, "No, we're doing this right now. We're going across the street to the hospital." And so that was anxiety producing. So we wound up over there, and I remember I was kind of in the waiting room, getting ready to get wheeled in, and Stephanie was with me, and this nurse comes out, right, and I'm all gowned up. I got the hairnet on and the whole thing, and I'm more than a little bit nervous. And she gets ready to wheel me in, and she looks down and she goes, "Hey, aren't you the announcement guy?" So I said, "Yeah," and I'm freaking out here. And so I really felt like I'd arrived then, you know what I mean? I found my sacred purpose. So I just want to say thank you for giving me the opportunity to do so many cool things here. It hasn't been like working. I thank Stephanie for being a part of this and for supporting me nights, weekends, and holidays. Thank you.
So Barry, what do you write on your card? How do you want to be remembered?
Sacred joy. I've had the opportunity to show up here and just do things that I love to do, like, Rainbow Day Camp. We're going to be doing that in a couple of weeks, and Dr. Patty and I started that years ago. This will be our 31st Rainbow Day Camp, and I've just had the opportunity to do so many things that I love to do, and so Sacred Joy has been my gig.
I love it. Keep practicing that joy, Barry, and we'll continue to receive the gifts that you've given, but they're invaluable. We're so grateful for them, and you've given your life to them in incredible ways. 35 years of being on staff here at Mile High, and we're so grateful to you. So legacy, living your best life that matters, just like Barry has. Remember that legacy is a virtue. It's the virtue of moving beyond your own self-interest to have a positive impact on others. Legacy isn't about what you accomplish. It's about how you show up every day. Your legacy is not in your future. It's in your right here and right now. And your legacy is your courage to bring forth the best of yourself and to trust that that is just what the world and your loved ones need to be inspired and to live great lives. What is that impact that you want to have? One last story for you today. It's about a woman who in the late 19th century dated two different former British prime ministers. And she was being interviewed by whatever the gossip column of the day was. And she was asked, what was the difference between these two great leaders? And she said, well, with the first prime minister, you always left believing he was the smartest person in the room. That's often how I want to be remembered. She says, but the thing about the second prime minister I dated is that you always left feeling like you were the smartest person in the room. When we think of legacy, we think of all the ways that we want to be remembered and seen. But it's not real legacy, not just about how much love we have to give, but how loving we let others know that they are. Is it about all of the wisdom that we've accumulated, or is it about those we've inspired to know how wise and how precious they are? How can each of us be a presence to inspire others to be their best selves, to live their legacy, so that we can all seek to live in a greater sacred joy? So just taking all that into prayer this morning, invite you to join me if you so choose. Invite our practitioner prayer partners, wherever they are, to stand and join us if they choose. Again, in that spirit of graduation, what is complete? What is that area of our life that we've learned all we can from? Whether we learned it in joy or through struggle and strife. And what now is being called to emerge in our sacred soul studies? Can we embrace a greater joy, a willingness to know that what is greater than what was for us in our lives? Can we embrace a greater willingness to love and be loved? Can we embrace healing in ourselves or in our life story that we thought was once impossible, but that we're ready for, that we're open to? Can we open our heart not just in honor of all that we know, but the immensely more of what we don't know, to know that in the great unknown is not fear and trepidation, but the possibilities of a willing heart to experience the mysteries of life and to live them with joy, with clarity, and with a commitment to bring forth that world we know can be within us in this great and precious world all around us. I accept this healing. I accept this grace. I accept this love. I accept the legacy that is the gift of God's life right here and right now. And so it is.
Open up, spread your wings and rise up. Don't let the clouds in your mind blind you to who you really are. Don't waste your time. No one else can live your life. So open up to what you've known all the time. You are more than you are. You are more than you are.
Thank you, Denise. We're now going to move into our time of offering, and just know that we are so grateful for the legacy that you help co-create as Mile High Church. I'm so grateful for the differences we're able to create in people's lives together, including our own. And we so appreciate your financial gifts, however you choose to give them. We've got about 350 people watching us live online right now from Alberta, Canada, Nebraska, Indiana, Wyoming, the Philippines, Japan, and Hawaii. I want to give a special shout out to Dr. Marilyn Leo, who's in California. Dr. Marilyn, a longtime beloved member of religious science, grew up as the next door neighbor to our founder, Ernest Holmes. And we're so honored that she is a member of our church and encourages us to carry on this incredible legacy of the science of mind and spirit. So hello, Marilyn. And with that, just invite us all to take our gifts and bless them however we like to, but we love to bless them together as we say our offering affirmation: divine love as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate. And so it is.
Farther than lands you have ever imagined, deeper than even the oceans of blue. An open horizon is waiting like morning to waken the dreamer who's living in you. So now go with the wind at your back and the sun on your face and a song in your heart and a life full of grace. Go in peace and in truth and let love lead your way. Go with God. Go with God. Stronger than will in the soul of a fighter, higher than hope in the heart of a child. There is a longing, a yearning inside us, reaching for greatness and won't be denied when you go with the wind at your back and the sun on your face and a song in your heart and a life full of grace. Go in peace and in truth and let love lead your way. Go with God. Go with God. Go with the wind at your back and the sun on your face and a song in your heart and a life full of grace. Go in peace and in truth and let love lead your way. Go with God. Go with God. Go with God. With the sun on your face and a song in your heart and a life full of grace. Go with God. Bless you.
Thank you, Denise. Gosh, I've loved all your songs today. Just fabulous. Thank you to the Mile High Band. You all are leaving such a great legacy here of incredible music and talent. And if you are here for the first time or you are brand new to Mile High Church, we have a welcome center out in the lobby, and we'd love to give you some information of all the many things that we have going on here. We also have our practitioners who are coming down front, and they will be available after the service for a short affirmative prayer.
Thank you, Reverend Carol. As you heard, we've got two great classes starting this week. Dr. Roger has a class starting in person tomorrow night on spiral dynamics. And online, Reverend Jackie, you're going to be teaching a class on radical forgiveness. Do you mind telling us a little bit about it?
Here's a little bit. Let me just say that in the world that we live in now, there are a lot of opportunities for us to practice forgiveness. And so this is the perfect timing for this class, and what it's going to do is it's going to take you from thinking about forgiveness as something being done to you as a victim, and what if it was for you to raise your level of vibration, to make you more spiritually attuned. So that's what this class does. And I would like you to sign up. If you would like to, you can do it in our lobby or you can do it online. And so it's a perfect class for those of you who are watching us online. I'd love to get to know some of you. So go to Mile High Church classes.
Thanks so much, Jackie. Seoul University. Dr. Michelle's going to share a little bit with us, and then will you take us home with our benediction, Michelle?
Sure will.
Thank you.
I want to say we have one of our graduates here this morning. Congratulations, Ty.
Hi, he's
Yay,
here.
so glad you're here. And I'm looking forward to that class that Dr. Rogers is teaching. I never got to take it in all the years I've been here, so finally I'm in. So I hope you'll join us. And this afternoon, or this in 30 minutes, over in the community center, if you have any interest in our School of Ministry, what does it take to become a minister in this teaching? We're going to be offering an information session for about an hour over in the community center. It will include a new presentation on our master's degree program. We do have an accredited master's degree that you can graduate with if you've got a bachelor's already. So come and see us and join us for that. We'd love to have you with us. And the youth program is hosting an ice cream social outside. Come rain or come shine, we got the ice cream for you. So it's going to be fun. Please join us and stand up now if you would for the benediction and peace song. We go forth now, knowing with great joy and great love that we live the legacy of our life every single day, and that we are contributing greatly to the good of our own soul's journey and the good of this beautiful earth we live on for every human being. And so we just give thanks for this truth. We let it be, we let it go, and so it is.